My point is that the government right now has a lower standard for Fetterman than a fucking strip club. Like, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the After Work Podcast. I know I've been gone for a really long time, but I've been trying to pay my bills, so that's, unfortunate. But on the plus side, I have done some upgrades to my sound and my studio and all of that stuff. Obviously, this is not that. I'm over at my buddy's house today. We're doing it on the fly. Hopefully, I will have my stuff set up by the next time, and then you guys will be able to see the actual studio. So, anyway, we are back. This is episode 15, and I am here with my guest, Josh. If you would like to introduce yourself.
I'm Josh. That's it.
That's it.
You can call me worse, but better people have done better.
All right. Well, so we're going to be talking today about some of the news, obviously, from the last couple weeks. More so this week because you guys have probably heard, but if you haven't, all the stuff that's been going on with Israel, which is crazy. I mean, like, the fact that Joe Biden is just, we'll get into it. Okay, so the first story we have is a update from it's day 13 of the Israel-Hamas war. This was put out on October 19th. So I think it was, let me see if I can find the spot. About 1,400 people in Israel have been killed, mostly in the initial attack. An Israeli military spokesperson said Thursday that families of 206 people have been captured by Hamas. That's a lot, including Americans. So Biden, of course, the arbiter of truth. Biden spoke hours after returning to Washington from an urgent visit to Israel to show U.S. support in the wake of the attack. Some 1,400 civilians were killed. Roughly 200 others, including Americans, were taken to Gaza as hostages. Israel responded with airstrikes. And 3,785 people have been killed in Gaza since the war began, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. But can we really believe them? So yeah, so you haven't been really following along with any of this.
No, the last 3 or 4 days I've been off grid with the whole war over there.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of behind on that. Last I heard, and the big deal for me was the fact of the Americans all being beheaded, the children particularly being an issue for me, and our leadership not getting as fired up about that as I believe. If this had been the 80s or 90s when I was younger and something like that would have happened, it would have been blasted all over mainstream media and it would have been furious rage and we would have retaliated by now.
Well, yeah. Well, unfortunately, we don't have someone stronger in office. We have somebody who has dementia who probably can't remember when the attacks happened.
Well, at least
it was like last week.
At least he's good at licking ice cream and checking gravity with bicycles. He's great at that. I mean, he's informative on certain things, but to be honest, isn't it more important to watch that little bugger that tells us whether winter's going to last longer? I mean,
I can't blame Biden though for the bicycle thing because he had the pedals that had the little straps on it.
I know it has the
and I've done exactly that thing where he trips and falls because I can't get my foot out of the.
But at what age do you have to realize I'm too old to have my toes trapped in a metal cup?
That's fair.
Just get the old man a Huffy and let him just do the best he can. Back pedal brakes. That's what he remembers. That's all they had back then.
He also tripped up the stairs like 3 or 4 times.
Oh my goodness! And that's when it first started.
Yeah.
That was at the beginning.
That was like, what, 3 years ago he tripped up the stairs?
And nobody said red flag. Hey,
well,
wait a minute.
He said red flag, but in the context of taking the guns away.
No, let's just not show this in the video.
Yeah, right. Of course.
Good Lord.
So, yeah.
I thought at least that he had got so dumbed down that he forgot to quit sniffing babies, but then he started doing that again.
Well, but I mean,
I digress.
He has to do the things he likes as uppers. I'm pretty sure him sniffing children's heads
Aren't
like
they
an upper
giving
to
him
him.
uppers to get him out of the basement
Yeah,
already, though?
so the uppers only work until he gets used to it. Each child's head is different. The one uses Dove, the other uses Pantene. It's
Oh.
just a different smell each time. So clearly, they're like smelling salts to him.
Oh
Only it
my
doesn't burn
god.
his nose. It gives him an
I wonder.
erection.
I wonder if he has a preference. Does he prefer Pantene smelling babies or a Pert Plus kind of guy?
I'm
You
pretty
know,
sure he looks like a Dove man. Like
Dove. I don't know, man.
that, that smooth, like that lavender smell. That's probably what he. It's either that or new baby smell.
Well, this is
If
not.
there's no in between.
This is not the kind of footage you get to put on YouTube. This is all going to be useless.
This is all gonna be great. Are you kidding me? This is content, guys.
I mean, you got to rock the boat. I mean,
I
oh
mean,
Lord.
if you can't make fun of the president, do you even live in a free country?
Right? Exactly.
Well,
Because
for now. For now.
no matter what side you're on, there's going to be an opposing president in office for you to complain about for 4 years period, and sometimes
Yep.
8. And it's just part of it. And if you get to a point where that half that just happened to not be in charge that time or that term gets pissed off and they can't do that anymore and everybody's getting shut off of media,
Yeah.
red flag, guys. You can't be taking people off of media just because they're speaking their part on the other side, especially when they're on a media source that's on the opposing side.
Yeah. I mean, just look at all the freaking censorship that happened with the Hunter Biden story. I think it was like 17% of people would have either not voted him in or voted for a different candidate had they known about that story.
You know how you get people to forget Hillary Clinton's laptop, Hunter Biden's laptop, and cocaine in the White House. If that don't get you off of it, everybody forgot about Bill Clinton
I
snorting
love
coke.
how the most secure building in the fucking world, and they couldn't figure out whose coke it was.
Yeah. Are there not enough cameras in there?
They knew whose it was. They're just like, we can't say because that would look bad.
And didn't they find it the same? I mean, the day I find it,
it was like the day after Hunter visited the White House.
I don't even care if he's there or not anymore. If I find cocaine in the White House, I'm locking the building down. The dogs are coming out, and they're going to sniff the first guy sweating cocaine.
Well, the thing is, they can't do that because they were probably told by Biden or somebody close to him, yeah, we can't do that. So it's all ridiculous. But speaking of Biden and his blunders and misdeeds, so because you haven't been keeping up with the news, so White House apologizes for glaring national security blunder after publishing a photo showing the faces of U.S. Special Forces as they met Joe Biden in Israel.
And they're active duty?
Active duty
in Israel.
And it was 12 Special Forces, and they posted non-blurred, non-blacked out faces on social media. And then they went back and deleted it, but the damage has already been done.
Yes,
these guys cannot operate. They can't operate at all because if they were trying to be undercover, if they were trying to do covert anything, dude, their face is already out there. They're gonna have to replace these guys with someone new.
Yeah,
it's either that or the more likely thing is gonna happen. Biden's gonna say, "Oh, it'll be fine. We'll just put them out there." Then they're gonna get put out there. Then they're gonna die, and he's gonna be like, we're going into Israel. We're going to fight Hamas because they killed 12 of our special operators. It's like, because of you.
When you're commander in chief, how do you think that that's not gonna jeopardize protocol and safety and security of your fighting men? Well, you're going to blatantly do that and blast their images all over social media.
Here's the thing. I can't decide whether or not it was Biden saying, yeah, that photo looks fine. Go ahead. Or it was his idiotic, like, millennial or Gen Z media person who didn't even think about it because they have no idea what goes into security, and they just put it out.
And that's exactly why you don't need someone in office who can't make feasible decisions on their own and listen too much about the peer pressure from their higher ups or office companions.
It's kind of like nowadays employers don't really care about the degrees anymore because all the people who went to college they weren't taught how to problem solve. They were taught how to retain things that they're told, And so you have these businesses who hire these people who go in and they constantly ask questions like, hey, how do I do this? Hey, how do I do that?
Yeah.
And the person's like, I hired you because I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Figure it out. And then they have to fire them. And then you hire somebody who never went to college and you don't have to tell them anything.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. All these people in the freaking White House are the same people who are asking questions all the time. And if they don't ask questions and get clarification, they do something stupid like that.
It's quickly becoming a crapshoot. You know, I've made the analogy over a decade ago about Idiocracy, and this is how it begins.
That movie's great.
And then, you know, now more and more all over other channels and other YouTube content, people are making the same analogy again. And it's so honest to God true because, I mean, when you're thirsty now and you're so parched and you just want something to drink, if it's not packed full of sugar, then you think it's better than water because it has electrolytes.
Yeah. Well, and friggin' with Idiocracy, I think when he gets out of the pod, he goes to he's in the one dude's house, and the dude's just watching the dumbest things on TV. He's like switching between that and porn, and it's just like most men nowadays, that's all they do. They sit at home, they play video games, they watch dumb YouTube content, and they jack off to porn, and that's it.
The show was the show was called "Ouch My Balls." And he literally was just 10-second clips of a guy getting cracked in the wabos and falling over stuff.
I mean, I gotta admit though, those are funny. Those are funny videos. But I couldn't watch it.
But I'm not the kind of I'm not the kind of person that can
It's like that's why I don't like Jackass. I don't like any of the Jackass movies because I mean I can tolerate it for like a minute or two, couple scenes here and there. If you send me a link with like one joke, okay, but I can't watch the whole movie. It's not my kind of content.
See, this is the generational gap here because when I grew up, when we wanted to watch something with like skits and little segments, it was America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
So you sat down for 30 minutes once a week and you watched this.
Yeah. But it was once a week. It wasn't on demand. It was on the TV.
So this is why I enjoyed the Jackass because I don't watch this social media content like that. And then I go rent a movie or catch it somewhere and I sit down for an hour, hour and a half, and I watch these guys be complete retards. But then I go about my life. But there again, I also don't play video games. Like,
I do. I play entirely too many.
You'll see me do videos like this sometimes, be in the background of a few. But you won't see me do video game content. I don't know games.
I barely do it myself. I just put the shorts up whenever I get
like PC.
That's it.
Duke Nukem was the top when I was a kid, man. And when I grew up, I was all about wanting the Nintendo, and I finally got one. And I got so mad playing it that I was like, I'm gonna have a heart attack when I was like 8, 9 years old. And I'm like, no, this is too stressful, and I quit playing video games because it was too stressful.
So anyway, going back to the whole freaking Biden with the photo thing. So the White House has been forced to delete a photo of President Joe Biden meeting U.S. Special Forces in Israel, which showed their faces and could have revealed their identities. It was already known that a small group of U.S. Special Forces are in Israel advising on how to rescue the scores of hostages, including Americans held by Hamas. The image of Biden shaking hands with them during his visit on Wednesday was published on the official White House Instagram page for hours and garnered thousands of likes and comments. It appeared to violate Department of Defense rules by revealing the men's faces, which are usually blurred in any officially revealed photographs. Now, if you look in the photo, it's not just their faces that are blurred, but the one guy who's shaking hands with Biden also has tattoos on his arm.
Oh.
And so it's blurred in that photo now. But I'm willing to bet that they didn't blur it in the original at all. So
no.
It's just how do you mess that up? I mean,
are there ranks and everything else visible too? Yeah. Are there unit patches on their kits?
Oh my God! No, I think it's just the flags.
Oh my God! But
so
still, man, still.
The men, unshaven with beards, wore camouflage and had American flags on their arms as they shook hands with Biden. It came during an event which the president met with Israeli medics who had responded to the attack by Hamas on the 7th. The now deleted White House Instagram post read, "In Israel, President Biden met with first responders to thank them for their bravery and the work they're doing in response to the terror attacks." The White House eventually apologized for the mistake and showing their faces and took the photo down. As soon as this was brought to our attention, we immediately deleted the photo. We regret the error and any issues this may have caused. Oh, you mean like the death of all of them?
Yeah.
Eventually, if they continue to be operating there? Like,
sorry, we may have just murdered our own men.
Republicans, of course, said it was gross incompetence, which
I mean, exactly what that is. That's, breach of safety protocol right there. Period. Common sense stuff.
Man,
oh my God. The amount, it's amazing that you're just going to have to edit this out. It's amazing that the amount of incompetence that comes out of the White House on their side right now, but yet they still have the decompartmentalization and the departments in place to completely mind control and put blinders on everybody. How can they be so stupid yet have a game so deeply rooted that this long game is going to eventually win? And we're going to be in some sort of war, be it here or overseas, that's not going to end where we want it to.
I'm not going to edit that out because it ties directly into my own concern. Because look, I'm 27, I'm almost 28, right? If a draft fucking happens for this bullshit, like, I'm part of it. Like even though I'm technically the firstborn in my family, my brother is he's going to school for engineering. He's probably going to be working at like Lockheed or something in a position where they're not going to want to take him out of that. Me, on the other hand, they're probably going to draft me, right? Like my freaking, my job I work at an ITAR facility that produces things for Lockheed Martin, but chances are they're going to be like, well, he's more important than you. So we have to take one from the family. It's going to be you. So I'm more concerned about getting drafted because of this BS, because they keep saying, I think Biden did a press conference where he's talking about the reason why we have to intervene with both Ukraine and Israel. And they're like, well, Russia is, just like Hamas. Like he did a direct comparison in not so many words, but he basically said that. And I'm sitting here going, you really think President Putin appreciates you saying that? And then also going, because I don't think he likes a Muslim terrorists either.
Yeah.
In addition to the fact that we are supplying, like, they keep saying, okay, we're not at war with Russia. What do you call billions of dollars in aid with rockets, tanks, equipment, fighter jets being given to them in order to fight? Like, we're in the.
There's a name for that. It's called proxy war.
Yeah, we're at war with Russia. We're at war. The only thing that we haven't done. The only thing that we haven't done so far is actually put boots on the front lines. It's not even that they're not on the ground. They're on the ground training the Ukrainians. Yeah. They're just not actually fighting on the front lines.
Yeah.
Unless you count all of the freaking volunteers that are in the Foreign Legion.
War will never be the same as it has in the past. It's not going to be just a physical, brutal war. It's more of an information war and a psyops war. It really is. And we are at war with so many people, and even amongst ourselves, trying to get our leader heads to get the people submissive enough to get to bigger agendas.
I mean, I'm just not looking forward for the thing in Ukraine to pop off, because Biden also said in the same press conference, he's like, if Russia attacks any of our NATO allies, we don't want to go to war, but we're going to be at war immediately. And I'm sitting here going, so that was after Russia basically came out and said that I can't remember what, it was like Lithuania, the old Soviet Union cluster. He's like, yeah, they're technically part of what we should have, but they're part of NATO.
Yeah.
So if he attacks them to try and take them for whatever reason, we're getting dragged into it. And it's like, look, man, just who cares? Why are we in Ukraine? Why are we sending billions of dollars? Like, fucking, you just sent, what was it, like $4 billion or 40 billion. I don't know the number. It was at least $1 billion.
A lot.
It was a lot of money we
lot.
sent over to Ukraine. And now, and that brings up the next fucking story. President Biden announces 100 million in aid for Gaza. White House says Israel not responsible for Gaza hospital blast. That was the rocket that hit the hospital.
Yeah.
So turns out everyone was like, oh, I think it was Al Jazeera and some other like Palestinian things were saying, oh well, yeah, it like leveled the hospital. It set a fire in the parking lot. Like that's about all that it did. And they're making it out to be like, yeah, people were injured, but no way, I don't think anybody died.
Because when I first heard about that, I had heard
and they're saying Israel
30% of the hospital was destroyed.
Yeah, no, it's a parking lot fire from Hamas's own rocket because they're saying, oh well, Israel did it, and it's like, dude, Israel has guided missiles given to them by the United States.
Yeah.
Right? Hamas has water pipes that they ripped out of the ground and turned into a rocket. Okay, you really think that like if you had to pick one of the two that was going to misfire, I'm pretty sure it's the fucking water pipe rocket.
I thought Hamas was running the gear that we had left. I thought they ended up with it.
So it's as far as I remember, it's unconfirmed that they have a ton of gear, but I think it's confirmed that a couple of the guys that did the initial terror attack had like M4s and stuff like that provided to them from somewhere. But we haven't been able to figure out if it came from Ukraine, if it came from Afghanistan, or anything like that, because there's no way to really like track it or anything.
Well,
so I think it was it Marjorie Taylor Greene was suggesting that we take the serial numbers from the recovered weapons and see where it came from, because chances are it's either Ukraine or from Afghanistan, but
it would be nice
I don't
to know
think
where they're
anything.
Coming from.
I'm almost 100% sure it's Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I'm almost 100% sure that everything that they
if
use.
If it's that easy, it would be great to know where those came from.
Yeah,
that'd be a great bit of intel for everybody. To know.
I'm willing to bet that it came directly from what we left there, because come on, like where else is it going to come from?
Well,
so
like I said, I haven't been in it as thick as I should be. But all I know is I heard that anything that wasn't a fucking Hilux was military MRAP.
Pretty much.
So,
so anyway, so the Gaza hospital thing, that was basically just a big ploy to try and blame Israel for it. And let's face it, even if Israel did strike the hospital, it's probably because Hamas likes to hide their rocket silos inside civilian targets, so that way Israel has to attack that. But
Hamas, the only country to hide a nuclear weapon inside a baby stroller.
Yeah. Dude, they would definitely put a dirty bomb in a baby stroller. They put it in the baby, probably, to be honest. Wah, wah.
It goes off 3 wah. Wah, run! Special place in hell, people like me.
I'm the third one. That's gonna be a T-shirt on the third wah run. Oh god, I gotta coming soon to my merch store.
What happens if you only get 2 wah and the baby just don't cry?
You shake it to rearm it.
You pinch it. I wouldn't shake it and go off in your face. Just pinch it and run.
Well, no, because you gotta mix the chemicals on the inside.
No, you take the baby while it's asleep and you do it like a grenade. You pinch it, you throw, and you run.
Oh man.
Win.
The doctors in the hospital are not going to smack the babies to make them cry because they don't know which one it is.
Is this the baby bomb?
Is this the baby that was in the bottom of the hospital, or is this the one that just came out? I don't know.
Which baby?
You sound like Borat. Which baby?
I will never know. He's number 3 baby in all of Kazakhstan.
Oh man. So okay. So the President Biden, who was on a visit to Israel Wednesday, announced 100 million in humanitarian aid for the Palestinian people in Gaza and the West Bank. Right. So So he says it's for food, water, medicine, and shelter. He said that he's urged the Israeli cabinet to agree to the delivery of life-saving humanitarian aid because they control like the fence and all that. But the United States provides humanitarian assistance through trusted partners, including UN agencies, international NGOs. Civilians are not to blame and should not suffer for Hamas's horrific terrorism. Civilian lives must be protected, and assistance must urgently reach those in need.
Does this not sound like the same kind of North Korea, South Korea shit?
Yeah, it's like
let's go fight another one of those wars.
Well, and here's the funny part: in that press conference that Biden did that I was just talking about, he literally said that we're going to send them all of this humanitarian aid, and if Hamas doesn't steal it, it will help the people. And I'm like, so you're admitting that you know that it's going to get stolen by the people who really don't need any of that help.
So you're just giving more shit to the other side. If you know it's going to happen, then you are knowingly allowing that supplies to go out to a chain you know that is interrupted.
Exactly.
Why? Why can't you pull a base out of Afghanistan without leaving all your shit? I paid for that. I want my shit back.
It's not even that I want it back in the United States. I just want to go on the government surplus website so I can buy it.
Yeah.
I want that Humvee or that MRAP or,
And by the way, can we get those good old prices again for these things? Yeah. You used to be able to get an H1. Back in the day, you could pick one up for like $1,000. Yeah. No, it was like $1,000, $1,500 for one. Now, granted, it needed work.
Well, and here's the other thing: if they would have brought all those helmets and freaking NVGs back, we would be getting like $500 NVGs. They wouldn't be freaking $6,000, like, because they'd be everywhere. But no, we gotta let the freaking Afghanis have those and to go and attack people.
If I ever have NVG, though, I'm totally putting rainbows on the side of them just because of the gay stuff about fucking just wanting to see guys in the dark.
Is it?
It's their NVG. Nobody's going to see the rainbows on the side anyway.
NVG. No, what you should do is put the rainbows on the side, but put sparkles so that way it can be seen. It's just like NVGs are gay, guys. Like, they are the only piece of equipment that you put on to be able to see other men at night.
I just use my natural tiger's eyes at night.
I can't even see that well at night. It's got to be a full moon. But yeah, so they're giving. He's giving 100 million. So here's my other problem with it. First of all, you're giving it to these guys who are probably going to use it for more bad terror and like killing civilians and stuff. But not just that, but like you're approving billions for Ukraine, a war we shouldn't even be in. You're approving 100 million to literal terrorists. What happened to we don't negotiate with terrorists?
Yeah.
Apparently we don't negotiate with them. We just give them what they want.
Yeah.
And then we can't even get a couple $1 million to fix a highway or a bridge or the what was it, East Palestine up in Ohio with the train derailment, or Maui. Freaking, they were approved $700 per household, not even per person, per household. $700. That is less money than the COVID stimulus check. And their whole city is gone.
Yeah.
All of it gone.
Yeah, we got a bigger stimulus check from COVID, and our city's still here.
Yeah.
I didn't even get COVID.
I got a bigger stimulus check even though I was still working. And these people are out of work, out of home, and they got $700, but we can afford to give $100 million to terrorists. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
Dude, trying to make sense of some of this, all the stuff that doesn't make sense will drive you batty right now because the amount of crap that don't make sense.
I am just going to take Joe Biden at his word, Vatican care, Trunana, Shabbat pressure, and I'll take him at his word.
Well, I mean, we speak English. English is a very literal language, so you have to take him literally for everything.
No, you know what my favorite thing is when he does a press conference and he slurs his words. He says shit like Trunana, Shabbat pressure, or Vatican care, or like an entire sentence just doesn't make sense. He sounds like freaking Fetterman, and the media, instead of quoting him with all the ums, uhs, pauses, and messed up words, they just interpret what he said, and that's the quote. And I'm just like, that is not what he said. Yeah. Like, your quote is one sentence. He said 5 and didn't make a goddamn lick of sense.
Last time I checked, a quote was verbatim. Those are not verbatim quotes.
And I'm sorry. It's just like, I pet the dog, is what they say Biden said. And he's like, well, the tiny pony, I tapped. And it's like, what did he just say? And there's like, oh, Joe Biden said he pet a dog. It's like, that is not what he said.
Oh, corn pop, man. He's a bad dude.
The corn pop thing.
Oh, man.
Children used to pet my legs. Why were you letting them pet your legs?
How did I not hear that? Was that the same speech? Did I miss that?
He's talking about how his hair would turn blonde in the sunlight, and in the pool,
yeah, when he
in
was
the
the
pool,
last
the
guard.
children would play with his leg hairs. I'm like, whoa, you let children pet your legs? That's weird.
That's weird.
Like, unless it's your grandkids and they just kind of play with their arm hairs or whatever, it's a little weird. But then again, I mean, this is the man who goes up and like shakes the adult's hand and then grabs the kid, and pulls him into him and just goes like it's like he's inhaling crack cocaine off of the top of this toddler's head. Like it's like he's playing Hunter Biden with this kid. Like
you ever seen the movie Spaceballs?
Yeah,
they had the can of dairy air.
Yeah. But seriously, like it's like father like son, only instead of children's hair, it's cocaine. And on occasion Parmesan cheese. Did you know about that quote?
No.
So he said that one time he got so high that he was pulling crumbs of Parmesan cheese out of the carpet, thinking it was crack, and smoked it.
Oh my
He was
God.
that high. I wonder if that was before or after he threw the gun in the trash can.
Why would you be picking dope out of the carpet when you got that kind of money coming in?
Right? I mean, you're getting paid, thousands of dollars from Burisma for not doing anything by sitting on the board because your daddy is giving them probably some benefits or something. I don't know. This is unconfirmed. YouTube.
Oh yeah, I forgot we're doing that.
It's
hi guys.
It's kind of it's unconfirmed. Wink. Okay, we're good.
Yeah,
but like
allegedly.
But seriously, like, how do you get so high that you can that you mistake that and you just don't buy more? Like, you're that rich.
Yeah. Well, but the amount of things that they've done that's been swept under the rug is dumbfounding because they just came out and said that there was proof that Biden was in the room during the phone calls with these overseas deals with Biden.
Yep.
And once again, where'd that intel go?
Yep.
There's been so many things thrown out that are exactly treason.
I think it was,
but yet nobody ever yells treason. What?
I think it was 4 weeks ago or something like that, where it was confirmed that Biden had emails that were under different names.
Yeah.
And now, that's another story. There's another story. Let me pull it up here. GOP House panel raises questions about a $200,000 check from James Biden to Joe Biden. Says of course the spokesperson's like, there's zero evidence of wrongdoing, but
what's that money for?
House Republicans released bank records of Biden's brother James Friday that they argue raised more questions about whether President Biden personally benefited from his family's business ventures. Right? Bank records released show a $200,000 personal check paid to Biden from his brother and his sister-in-law. The personal check, which was labeled a loan repayment, was issued before Biden's presidency on the same day in 2018 when AmeriCorps Health LLC, a healthcare company that manages rural hospitals across the United States, also wired $200,000 loan into James Biden's PNC bank account. That sounds shady. Yeah. So this health company gave it to Joe Biden's brother, and then the same amount, same day, got given to Biden.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems a little odd.
Yeah. For the same amount. That's why it's so odd.
Like if it was just like on a random day, he asked for 200, got given it, and then later on he gets given 200 back. That's like, oh, okay, maybe a loan. But the same day that he's being compensated from a health company. Now I don't know what the connection there is, but that's questionable. Yeah. Then you have all of the emails of 10% for the big guy from Hunter, and then the confirmation of Hunter's business partner that the big guy is Joe Biden, and just all this other stuff that I just don't understand how he's not under investigation. His son has already weaseled out of one conviction.
None of them
I
have ever been brought to justice on any of their wrongdoings.
Yep.
Hillary's laptop, all that other stuff, and all the everything that's gone
They never
around.
get caught. Well, they get caught, but then
Nothing's
nothing ever
ever
happened. Nothing. Yeah,
resolved.
nothing's ever resolved.
But my question is, when was the last time we had a U.S. elective tried for treason? The only thing I'm finding about a U.S. elected official was Vice President Aaron Burr.
Yeah, that's the only one that well.
But it says he died of wounds.
Technically Jefferson
No,
Davis, but it was later abandoned. So
no,
the Civil War.
he wasn't tried for treason, and he did not die from execution. He died in a duel due to wounds. But he was accused of treason in
Yeah.
a separate incident, but he was acquitted. So it doesn't look like we've had anybody in an elected official tried
No.
for treason. Well, you know what
Not
I
actually
think it's
tried.
time
Yeah.
for? I think it's time we start some of that shit. Because if you ask me, a public hanging or a public tar and feather to really make these guys stop and take a look inside and
Yeah.
think, what kind of human am I being for my people? Because this is some of the worst backwards ass clown shit I've ever seen in my life. I'm 42 years old. I grew up to be an anarchist and wasn't even caring about government until I had children.
Yeah.
And then I grew up and I'm looking at this and I'm looking at what's being left for our children. And everybody's worried about all the wrong things. And it's just.
I didn't start caring until I was like halfway through college when it started infecting my university, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even start out with politics. I started with the feminist movement, the like fourth wave or fifth wave. I don't know which wave it is, but whatever wave it is, the feminist movement where they basically just shit on all men for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, well, I'm watching these videos, and I'm like, well, I'm not any of this. Then it evolved into the Believe All Women and the Me Too and this and that, and then I started getting into guns and I started getting into politics because I'm like, well, those two kind of go hand in hand. And
Well, see, and those social arguments with those things, the feminism, the BLM, the
yeah,
gays, all that stuff, it's all social discord to keep us divided.
yeah,
And it's another one of their tactics that they've been using. And everybody says, oh, that's just, Big Brother and conspiracy. No, it's not. They have had plans in place and they've
oh
been
yeah,
using them. And it's psyops. And anybody who's ever been in the military and has had any kind of proper intel can tell you all the same thing. Now, I've never been in the military and I've never had proper intel, but I keep my eyes and ears open and use my own personal judgment and know how humanity should be treating itself.
I mean,
And arguing over stupid crap is doing nothing but keeping them in power.
It's not hard to. I mean, it is kind of hard to see it, but once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Like, how many movies now just have the same weird, like, underlying messaging?
Yeah.
It's like every Disney movie, every movie that's in the movie like that. I feel like that's why most people don't even go to the movies anymore. Like, everyone blames COVID, but I haven't been in the movie theater since 2015, probably more than once or twice for like a very specific movie.
Yeah.
I didn't go when all the Avengers movies came out. I was just like, I was so done with it. I was over it. There was too much BS in those movies. And then you get to now, they blamed COVID for it, but I'm pretty sure they were struggling well before that to get people in. And that's why I think like The Sound of Freedom did well. That's why the second Top Gun. That's why that did so well, because it was a generic pro-America movie. There was no real politics involved. It was just like guns blazing, fun movie, and that was it.
But yet it was labeled some of the most political. Don't go watch this film. It's bullshit. But it's great independent films. But you're right. They did so well. I feel because it's outside of that Hollywood facade. Every mainstream Hollywood film that you got coming out, when you're done, you can tell there's some kind of agenda behind it. That they're underlining something that's going on in the proper topic of that that time.
Like everybody in like every TV show has a gay person or a trans person or this. And look, I don't care if that's included every now and then, because that's life. Like there are people, those people exist. That's fine. My problem is when they say that they're trying to get equal representation, and they're overrepresenting, and
Yeah.
it's just in your face all the time. Like
Yeah.
it's gotten to a point where I don't watch new shows anymore. I just watch old shows.
Yeah.
Like I rewatch How I Met
Stuff
Your
you can
Mother
trust.
or like
Yeah.
Friends or all this other stuff. And even those shows kind of have a little bit of it in it, but not enough to make me not want to watch it.
You know, like
You
Third
know,
Rock from the Sun. Good shows, man. Good
Community,
stuff.
like
Yeah.
those are like
Community.
those great shows.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and oh god, Parks and Rec. Like, but
Letterkenny.
Letterkenny's
That's
great.
still too new.
Have
of
you
a
seen
show.
Shoresy?
Yeah,
Dude, it's not as good as Leonard Kenny, but it's worth the watch.
It
It's worth the
lost
watch.
me because he doesn't do the same voice. His voice isn't as high pitched as it used to be.
Well, I mean, he can't talk like that
Oh, he has to.
all
If you're
the
gonna play
time. I
that
mean,
character, it has to be the same voice.
I guess, but but yeah, like shows like that, like they're great, and that's why those shows do great because they're offensive and nobody cares. Or they tie in maybe a little bit of the woke stuff, like the fact that like Stewart and them are clearly bisexual, but like
Yeah.
it's funny. It's in a
Yeah.
funny way, and it's just like that. I don't like. That's great. But when like they came out with that movie, what was it called? The Boys, I want to say it was that one where it's just an all gay cast, and it's a gay rom com. It's like you you're catering to an audience that's like a 3% at best of the population. No wonder your movie didn't do good because people like me and you, we don't care about that. We're not gonna go watch that movie.
Here,
It's not funny.
I've
It's
got an
like
I've got an exact thing about that. Have you ever heard of the movie Letters from Tu Wong Fu?
no.
All right, this is why. Great cast, great story in a movie, but it was all trans cast. Now they weren't real trans. It was Wesley Snipes, John Leguizamo.
I kind of want to watch this now.
Yeah, this is the only reason I know this movie, and I watched it several times in my life just to watch these guys act. And Patrick Swayze.
Oh yeah, I have to see
the
this.
Three
Now
characters
like
in a convertible '60s Cadillac going cross country to try to better themselves.
Now I have to see this movie.
Dude, it's actually not a bad movie, and I'd probably never even known about it if it wasn't for my gay cousin when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But when he told me who was in it, I was like, all right, man, I'll watch it.
See, I haven't seen quite a few of the old movies. Like, haven't seen Brokeback Mountain.
I have not seen that either.
I don't plan on it either. But that's like another one where it's like one of those early ones that was made for them, and it's got what is it, Jake Gyllenhaal and someone else. And then I still haven't seen Pulp Fiction. I've really got to.
You've never seen Pulp Fiction? What's gay about Pulp Fiction?
No, it's not gay. I'm just saying I've never seen it.
Oh,
it's just like you were talking about like an older movie, and I'm just like, there's some movies I just haven't even seen. I just watched a movie like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I can't remember the name of it. It was
ever seen Boondock Saints?
No, I haven't seen that either. I need to. I like. There's a whole bunch of movies that like.
Oh man,
I have to see. But like, my problem is, my problem is that I don't watch all that much TV. I don't. Okay, that's a lot of movies. Like, dude, you have so many DVDs.
There's
like,
over 1,000.
You have 1,000 DVDs.
Over 1,000.
Jesus.
I got too close to 1,500.
My thing, like the thing is, DVDs are basically almost obsolete at this point. Like the new Xbox that's coming out, doesn't even have a disc tray.
But I knew they would. But I can get a portable DVD player that I can run off a solar panel when shit goes south, and I'm out in the woods. I can be watching Grandma's Boy. What are y'all gonna be doing? Fucking rubbing sticks together, making slingshots? Nah, I got my BB gun, my 22s, and my DVD player. Yeah.
But I mean, I still have I have a thing of DVDs, but I just buy digital now, and I still have a couple of VHSs, but I don't have a VHS player.
I do. I have a VHS.
I need to get one because I have the. I think it's one of the earlier releases of the 1954 Godzilla movie on VHS when they first brought it to America. Yeah, of course I would. Yeah. And so I watch it that way because it's better.
Dude, I keep mine because I still have all of my music VHS from junior high and high school. So I like Pantera 1 through 3 and Metallica's Kill 'Em All or Cliff 'Em All. Dude, all on VHS, like Slayer, Seasons in the Abyss,
Nice.
all
But yeah,
these.
I haven't seen any of those movies. There was a movie I can't. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. It's the one where the guy has the the death trap car that he like.
Death Proof. That's the name
Is
of it. It's
that
a
it?
Grindhouse film. It was a two-feature film. It had Death Proof and
Is it the one where he
Planet
crashes the car
Terror.
into the chicks on
Yeah,
purpose? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So I just saw that like 2 weeks
Just
ago.
saw that.
Just saw that like
That's
two
a
weeks ago.
great Kurt
The
Russell
Quentin. It's
movie.
the Quentin
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 Tarantino
Tarantino.
film. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a Grindhouse film.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I had never seen it before. I saw it and I was like, how have I never seen this before? This is a great movie. Like,
Yeah, when the leg gets sheared off and
oh,
it's flopping in the
I don't
road.
know. That was cool, but I like the tire to the face where it just
Yeah.
like takes her whole face off. Like,
That was
and
good.
then the very ending where they play the credits a little bit, and then it goes to her just like curb stomping him in the face, and
Yeah.
he caves his face. That yeah,
That was a good one.
God, I didn't think he was gonna be such a pussy. Like,
Yeah.
after he gets shot in the army, he's like,
You know, you've
that's a
wrecked.
great
You were a
movie.
stuntman. You've wrecked so many cars. You can't take a flesh wound by now.
Yeah,
Come
right.
on.
But yeah. So I need to watch like Pulp. I haven't seen Fight Club. I gotta watch Fight. Like all these like '90s and early 2000s movies are like the prime
That's
time
like
for movies.
That's my collection.
Yeah, that's like the prime area for movies because like
Yeah.
anything past like 2011, 2012 is where movies just fucking fall apart and just, no. And then anything before that, it's like I can't really watch them because I'm like, y'all's special effects are just
Dude,
fucking terrible.
practical effects.
Practical
are my
effects
favorite.
are the best. That's why I like the first three Jurassic Parks, right? That's why I like the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. The new one, The Desolation of Smaug, with all the CGI, it's like, dude, no.
Yeah.
Like, can I please get some like practical effects
Yep.
because those were great. And then
so much
the
better.
Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, the '77 movies, they're on the tail end of bad practical effects, so it wasn't the best.
They were at the beginning of
Yeah, it
good
was like-
practical effects. So Star Wars really opened up some good effects
Yeah.
that really morphed
But
into great things.
You'll notice the difference between the lightsaber play though, because in the original trilogy, those sticks broke too easy, so they had to be like,
Yeah.
you know. And
now
then in
they're
the
all
newer
violent
one,
with them.
well, no, like so, it went full circle. So originally they couldn't do it all that much, right? And then they went to it was like green screen ones,
Yeah.
but they were more sturdy. So like in the Phantom of the Menace trilogy, they were just going ham with it, and it was great. But now they're using VFX lightsabers that actually emit light from the blade,
Yeah.
so that way they can get the shadows on the faces. Because in the Phantom of the Menace, you'll notice that either there's not a whole lot of shadows or light cast onto the actors' faces, or it looks weird because they've had to edit it in or whatever.
Yeah.
But in the newer ones, they actually use real light emitted from the sabers. But because they do that, they're fragile again. So that's why in the newer movies, you're looking at like Rey and this other guy, and there's like in like locking sabers for like 30 seconds at a time, and it's just like this is not fun. Like I want to see some like wild shit.
Like they're trying to bring practical effects back and they don't know how to do it anymore.
Exactly, yeah. and I'm just like, guys, come on. And the newer trilogy also pisses me off because like these people have like no practical training whatsoever, but they use force powers and they pick up and they use lightsabers as if they've known how to do it their entire fucking lives. And then Luke is over here and he like fails the first time he goes after Darth Vader and he had training from Yoda. Like,
yeah. And you can't talk about anything in Star Wars being bad practical effects though when you look at films like Flash Gordon's practical effects and their space scenes.
Yeah.
Or like Barbarella's space scenes, they're just atrocious.
Yeah.
Then you get Star Wars where it's more practical.
I think it comes and goes. I think it comes and goes because like you have the original black and white films where they did the practical effects where like they'd have an entire house fall and he'd be standing in the little gap where the window is, and it was like that was real.
That's
like if he was off, he's dead.
Yeah.
And then there's the one scene where he's like on the back of the car and the train's going by and he like grabs the train and gets yanked off of it, and the ladder's hanging off the edge and he's holding on to it, and I'm like,
yeah,
that was all real.
Yeah.
And then they went into all these fake stunts and stuff, and then they went back into the practical effects, and now they're doing CGI, and now I think they're trying to get back to some practical effects, but it's not it doesn't mesh well with the CGI, so
Yeah.
it doesn't look right.
Yeah, they're trying to. I watched a video with Adam Savage from
Mythbusters,
Mythbusters.
yeah,
He still does effects and everything, and he was talking about some of his models and his practical effects that he's
yeah,
doing with live shot that they're doing with digital background with moving
okay,
space, and then it's all practical. All the ships and everything he's using is practical model
hmm,
build, but off of a video game ship. So they had to
hmm.
take all of this digital artwork and turn it into
Into
something
it,
physical
huh,
that actually translates. And what they did, the ending shot when they showed the CGI from the video game and then what they're doing with the new shot, and it was phenomenal. But I
wow,
mean, it was a good merge of the two. It was clean and
hmm.
good. But there's not everybody out there as meticulous as Adam Savage and the caliber of people that he works with
Yeah,
because of his reputation. He gets top quality people and
yeah.
some of the best in the new effects. And this was something that was brand new. He was working with
Hmm.
someone else that's trying to do it. And it worked. But if we could
I
get
want
back
to
to
see
a
more
blend of both, that'd
practical
be nice.
effects. That's all I
Yes,
want to
yes,
say.
for sure.
Like,
If we could get more Tom Savini's in this world doing like Dust Till Dawn and Friday the 13th, doing these massive kill scenes and blood. Oh, Evil
yeah,
Dead with gallons and gallons, like 55-gallon barrels
that'd be
of
great.
blood.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Are there any more politics? Do I
so.
really want to be any more disappointed today?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So continue. We got so off track. We're
Yeah.
still talking about the thing. So Joe Biden's ability to pay back that loan depended on the success of his family's shady dealings. In a bankruptcy filing last year, AmeriCorps Health claimed James Biden received hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans from the company on the promise that his last name could open doors and that he could obtain a large
Uh,
investment from the Middle East based on his political connections.
See, and
So,
that's what.
so the health company even goes, yeah, we thought based on his last name and the fact that he has political connections, we could get like this huge market in the Middle East, and then he didn't come through, and we basically paid him for that.
Yeah, and now we're bankrupt,
Yeah, and now we're bankrupt, and they put it in the official.
and that's
Yeah,
exactly the same
and
poll
and that
Hunter's using with the last name.
and that is that I would argue I would assume that that's what that $200,000 payment was that went to Biden. It was
Yeah.
a direct payment to Biden,
Mhm.
supposedly a loan, but it's like no, we're paying you $200,000 to get us in the door in the Middle East.
Yeah. 'Cause now he can just say, well, people are just giving me money. I didn't do anything with it. It's fucking
I mean, but
stupid.
I mean, the Biden makes all this money. You've got Nancy
No,
Pelosi with the freaking stocks because she trades stocks because she's got all the insider trades.
they've
I
all
mean,
got their hands in the buckets. Now, here's my question though: are all of these lesser Bidens, not being the commander in chief,
yeah.
are they smart enough to think, oh well, I got my last name, I can get pulled, or did Joe just go, hey, you can use this last name,
I'm
go?
willing to bet that it was a mixture of the two. Joe probably was like, well, if he wanted to, I'm kind of in a position. We could make some money doing this, but I get a cut.
Yeah,
Or the family kind of came to him one at a time, was like, hey, can you help me out with this? And then over time, it just kind of evolved into like, look, I don't know what you're doing, but like, if you give me a little bit, I'll do whatever you want. Like, that's probably the more likely scenario because let's face it.
either way, it's lying. Period.
Yeah, I mean, Joe has always been a plagiaristic, lying asshole. I mean, he
Yeah,
tried to run for president, got caught plagiarizing, and pulled out. And then you have uh I mean, he just lied like two or 3 weeks ago on the anniversary of 9/11
yeah,
when people were giving him shit because he was in Alaska instead of going to the 9/11 commemoration. He's he's like, well, yeah, but I was there like the day after 9/11. It's like, you, Joe, do you not remember you lived even back then? You lived in the age of cameras where we have footage of you on the House floor
yeah,
speaking,
yeah,
not in New York at all, and you didn't in fact go to New
yeah,
York until 2 weeks later with a congressional delegation, or was it a Senate delegation? I don't know which one he was in, but he
yeah,
went with a delegation like 2 weeks later. He was not there the day after.
yeah,
You know who was there like the day of? Trump.
yeah.
He
You
was
know,
there providing aid. Like,
yeah. But see now, when I started getting into politics and I realized, okay, this guy here, he's been in office for quite some time. Let me just go back, in the day of media we have, let me go back and listen to some of the shit he said in the past. And I have. Oh
Some
my
of the stuff
God.
he has said is so bad. Like
And
he
it's the
doesn't want his children in a racial jungle.
and what is
Like
this?
what the?
Yeah, and what is this wishy-washy stuff? The stuff he said in the past is the exact opposite of what he's fighting now.
Oh yeah.
He's talked crap about race and religion and gays all this
Ugh.
time, and now he's talking about how, well, we got to be nice to all these people now, but he can't remember what he said 20 years ago.
Yeah.
He can't even remember what state he was in.
Can't remember what state he was in. Can't remember. I don't even think he knows how to tie his shoes. To be honest, I think someone does that
Are
for him
you
in the
old
morning.
enough
It's
to
like,
remember when Bob Dole was running for president?
no.
This guy was so old. He could still speak good, but he had had a stroke.
Yeah.
And he couldn't use one hand. So he walked.
Also, there's precedent for Fetterman.
Yeah. So this guy walked around, and he wasn't dumb. He could have got things done. He might have been a good president. Who knows? But he didn't get voted in, and I think it's solely because he fell down the stairs walking up a stage. But he has a disability. But the funniest thing, though, byproduct of this story, everybody was all worried when he fell. Oh my God, did he stab himself? Because he always had a pen in his stroke hand because it was always right here. And he always had a pen. So every time he had to sign anything, it was always.
Oh, man.
And they were all like, did he stab himself? Because everybody thought he would have just jabbed it in. But, he would have even been a better president than what we've ended up with now. And he sounded less coherent, and that's why he didn't get president.
I don't know, man. I can't get with the fact that any mentally handicapped anyone gets in office. I don't care.
Nobody should.
I don't care if it's that guy. Fetterman shouldn't be in office. Biden shouldn't be in office. Heck, Kamala Harris doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. She shouldn't be in office.
If you wear sweatpants to a government office, you don't deserve to be in government office. Fuck you, Fetterman.
I actually disagree with that.
Fuck you, Daddy.
No.
You're gonna get a mullet and some pit vipers and go to fucking Supreme Court?
No. Hear me out. Okay, so look, The Office. I respect The Office, right? But here's the thing. The Office was originally supposed to be for the people, right? What do most the people wear? Blue-collared workers wearing jeans and a freaking t-shirt, okay? And
professionalism, sir.
Sure, if you're, talking to another country or whatever, but when you're just showing up to vote on crap for the people, I don't necessarily think that you need to be dressed a certain way, okay?
Should at least be wearing blue jeans and boots.
Sure, there's a certain level, but I disagree with the fact that you absolutely have to be in a suit and tie.
But I swear to God, if you're walking down Congressional Hall in gray sweatpants, get the fuck out of here.
I agree with the sweatpants and the hoodie, right? But like blue jeans, t-shirt, I don't think that's a big deal. Because here's the thing.
I can see that not being a big deal. It's not casual Friday still.
Exactly. But like not sweatpants. Like guys, this isn't. No, even a strip club doesn't let you wear sweatpants. Like,
why not?
Come on.
I really don't go to enough strip clubs, I guess.
So I've been to like 2 ever. My assumption.
What if it's a male strip club?
My assumption is that it's because they don't want you to have a hard on while she's giving you a lap dance. That shows.
But I thought that's what they wanted to excite you.
They want to excite you. They just don't want to feel it. That's my best guess. Okay, because most
of these guys go to the strip clubs.
Well, because most of the strip clubs have like a freaking dress code or something. It's like they call it a gentleman's club, and they're just like, you have to wear at the very minimum jeans and a dress shirt. It's like, I'm paying you, aren't I? Like what?
Dress shirt? Because I want stripper sweat all over my dress shirts.
But anyway, my point is that the government right now has a lower standard for Fetterman than a fucking strip club. Like, this guy,
he could get in government office before he could get in a strip club.
Exactly. He could walk onto the floor of Congress, mumble some incoherent shit, but he can't go get a lap dance because they won't let him in the door dressed the way he's dressed.
Oh my god! I
And
never thought of it like that.
and look, I don't care. Like I said, blue jeans t-shirt. I don't think you should have to be in a suit and tie. But like, come on, sweatpants and a t. And it's not like my personal thought is okay. You shouldn't have to, but because those are the rules, wear what you're supposed to wear.
Yeah, I mean,
If I'm going before Congress, I'm at the very least going to wear a blazer. Okay,
even
like
on casual Friday in a standard job you would have as a normal Joe, would you go wearing
sweatpants.
sweatpants?
No, you'd be going in jeans and t-shirt.
Yeah,
Well, it just depends on the job, I suppose. But
maybe
for the
my
most
flip
part,
flops,
yeah.
but I'm
Well,
still wearing blue
not in a
jeans.
warehouse. In a warehouse, I'm not, and I don't. They don't allow flip flops in the strip club either.
Nope, no shirt, no shoes, no business, no open-toed shoes.
No open-toed shoes. You might walk out here slipping and sliding. I don't know.
They don't want. They don't want you having open-toe shoes in case
Yeah.
one of the strippers slip and end up a
Yeah.
toe somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't end up with a nice game of hide the pinky toe.
Yeah. No, and the two times that I did go to a strip club, it was like the first time I went was with my cousin, and we just sat at the bar the whole time. We didn't get lap dances. We kept getting approached. I'm like, go away, whore. I'm like, go away. I'm here to look, and that's it. And honestly, I don't get the point of strip clubs, to be honest.
I'm here
The
to look
second
and
time-
keep my money.
Yeah. Well, I'm not keeping my money going to that bar. It was like fucking like $10 a beer. It was ridiculous.
Good
Yeah.
God.
And then the second time I went was to a club, the Lodge.
Yeah.
And so you go in there, they sell cigars, they sell alcohol, they sell food, and they sell women. But not all the way, clearly.
Yeah.
It was just topless. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. But they had really good steak. I'll give it. They had a whole buffet set up. It
A
was
steak
great.
buffet.
Steak buffet.
I don't
shrimp.
think I'd
They
want
had
to eat
steak.
stripper food.
They had steak,
Strip club food.
lobster. They had like Romeo and Juliet cigars.
I am
It was a good
not
I-
eating lobster.
Here's
at
the,
a strip
here's the
club.
funny part. It's a strip club, but I really didn't pay attention to the women. I was sitting there like smoking and eating my steak, like, ooh, this is great. And then every now and then they'd have like some like danger act or like a stripper that's like on the like silk ropes or whatever on like the main stage. And you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Keep eating my steak. Like, but those are the only two places I've ever
Where
been.
was this place?
It's called the Lodge. It's here in Texas.
Huh.
Yeah.
See,
But I just don't get the point of strip clubs. It's like, okay, if I want to see women, I have a phone. There's so much free shit. I don't have to pay for anything. Because most strip clubs want you to pay like a entry fee, like a cover, and I'm like, how am I gonna pay to get in to then give money? Like, I don't get I can't sleep with them. I can't. A lot of the strip clubs are only topless, so it's like I don't even get to see everything. It's like what, and then I'm paying out the ass for fucking beer, and some of them don't even serve beer. Some it's bring your own beer, and I'm just like, okay.
well, the BYOB
So what?
ones are full, dude.
Yeah. And then you can bring your own stuff, and that's great. But I'm like,
Save a lot of money
I just
that way.
don't see the point in going. It's just like
Well, if you go to
I'd have a more fun time going to a bar and picking somebody up and taking them home than I would going and blowing the same amount of money at a strip club. Like it doesn't make sense to me. But I guess whatever floats your boat.
well, the people I know that like to go, they always said the BYOB places were better because you didn't have to tip. You take your own drinks and you just pay a cover. I don't know, but I've always wanted to go to the clubhouse. That's the one that Dimebag and
Where's that at?
It's I think Arlington somewhere.
Arlington.
But it was Vinny and Dimebag Darrell's place, and they used to hang out there a lot. And everybody's got stories of going to the clubhouse and running into them and hanging out with them because they used to hang out with everybody. And
Interesting.
I
would have
know-
thought that would have been in like L.A. or
no,
Vegas.
it was here.
But
It was here, and they only allowed metal music. It was just a pure metal strip joint. Now I don't know if it's still that way now that both of them are dead, but it was just purely metal.
If that's the case, I mean, I could.
That's what made it popular back in the day.
Yeah.
It was just purely.
Because right now I go to like an emo bar, and then there's a rock and metal bar called Reno's. It's more of a biker bar.
Well, where else are you gonna find it?
But yeah, exactly. Well, that's a good point because all the ones, dude. The worst part is these dating apps, man. Like I'll be swiping right, and I'll find one, and they'll be like from like a different state. I'm like, Man, come on. Why are you not here? And why my preferences keep changing to other states? What's up with this?
Yeah, that's never gonna work. Long distance never works.
No, it never works.
I need a cigarette.
Heck, even freaking more so than like an hour is not gonna work for me. Like.
Yeah, that's too far.
All right, well, that's basically all of the politics we have today. So, I mean,
any more, and we're just gonna have our heads explode.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's basically everything that happened in the last 2 weeks is all that. It's basically all Israel stuff. It's basically, ties into some other stuff, but that's about all you need to know is all that stuff going on with Israel. Is a bunch, Israel got attacked by Hamas, all that stuff, and then now we're apparently giving them aid for what reason I don't know. When we can't even fix our own roads and all that, but it is what it is. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope you guys like the new format. I know that before my episodes were mostly just me talking to you guys in the camera, but I feel like this is a lot better because maybe you guys are laughing along with our idiocy.
Or at least laughing at us.
Or at us, yeah. Like either way.
You don't have to laugh with us, but laugh at us for sure.
At us, that's fine. But, maybe a little bit of entertainment mixed in with some of the news stories. And, go ahead and look up these stories for yourself. That I basically took the first one on Google, but I'll try to link them in the comments or in the description down below. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Make sure to like and subscribe and drop a comment down below and let me know, do you want to see more of me and Josh and me and other guests, because I will have other guests on as well, and just let us know. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it and have a good one.